Ladies and gentlemen, before our show begins, please silence your cell phones.
Back, you're on. Tim, how are you?
Very good, Scott. Thank you.
We're also streaming live here apparently on STSPN, although we have a very blue haze.
Is that how we look on camera?
I hope not.
Wow, we look like Smurfs.
We do. And the graphic was Smurfs, but we want to thank Todd Elvig for that. Oh my God, do we have a lot to talk about. I mean, it's insane. First of all, we have to start our easymedicalstore.com start of the show. It's got to be your Seattle Seahawks, who once again just scrape out a 27-26 miraculous comeback, drop your jaw win over the Vikings.
So that's where we're starting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Don't you want to start there?
Well, that's we might depress the crowd a little bit.
No, what do you mean depress?
Well, we're here to get them fired up.
That's right.
That's our job.
I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of things in the NFL. I mean, you actually have been, I'm really proud of you. You went deep into your Steelers trivia tidbits, even though you don't love
hurt.
it. Yeah.
It hurt.
Seriously.
Bad.
There's some bruising if you can't see through the blue screen.
It's black and blue. That's what it is.
We'll get to that. But seriously, the first half, I'm angry texting. We're angry texting.
Oh, it was torture.
It was
torture. Absolute torture.
I don't even, it's like you have all these notes. I have 47 notes. First of all, this first half, they are the flattest team in the first half. It's Sunday Night Football. Why can't you get up for that?
It brought me back to all the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, this is kind of textbook Seattle, except it hasn't been this year. They've been kind of like turned over a new leaf.
I actually looked this up. So this year through 5 games, we're actually averaging 13.3 points in the first half.
13.3?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been averaging 11.1. We've had moments, and that's through 16 games. Yeah. I didn't look at the 5 games. But you and I have talked about we're used to fast starts.
Correct. Well, they kind of turned over a new leaf at the end of last year. They said they were going to try to do something about that. But, oh, my God, they were terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like they had the ball for about 4 minutes in the entire first half.
Funny you ask. They 20 minutes, 32 seconds to 39-28, the Vikings.
That's for the game.
That's for the game. The first halftime possession for the Vikings, 20 minutes, 16 seconds. Seattle, 9:44.
And did it seem like they had the ball 9:44?
No, it
seemed like about 4 minutes.
If that.
Yeah.
It felt even worse.
Well, the strangest thing about that is, as flat as they were, Russell Wilson didn't have one incompletion in the entire first half.
No.
He was like, 11 for 11 or something of that nature.
Well, the first half stats are like this. First downs, the Vikings had 15, Seattle 5. Total yards, Vikings had 217. They ran their brains out. 217, most of that through the ground. Even when Dalvin Cook got hurt, Madison came in and
he was still
over 100 yards. 217 versus 60.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to do all of this remotely, and obviously Tim Boyle doesn't have a very good uplink. I think he's using Comcast, which they have a terrible uplink. So just be patient with us, and we'll be right back.
We're talking about unbelievable plays, and then we haven't even got to the denouement yet.
The what?
We haven't even got to the play that won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense, basically. Okay, ready?
Yep.
So the bottom line is that all of this happens. They make this unbelievable play. Zimmer's, fired. If I'm a Minnesota fan, I was trying to think of this. I mean, I'd be sick to my stomach. Because you're giving Russell Wilson the ball with $1:15 left, down by 5 now.
They must have. At Minnesota, they're just thinking we're dead.
Oh, yeah, they're thinking the Blair Witch Project, 5
everything.
degrees weather.
Aren't they 0-6 against Pete Carroll now?
Yeah,
and
it's
Russell
brutal,
Wilson,
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, his primetime record is
like,
god awful.
Has he won one yet?
I think one out of
And
a
the
lot.
Seahawks, when they're on prime time, are almost unbeatable.
It's insane. So
Yeah.
he drives down the field. Again, we're 0-7 on third down conversions, but we're 2 for 2 on fourth down.
Get us to fourth down and we're fine.
Unbelievable to DK Mancrush.
But were you scared out of your
Oh
mind?
my God.
When we have these like 4th and 1s and whatever,
3rd and 1,
whatever these real important ones, they go for these long bombs, which you'd think are real low percentage plays, but they seem to pay off for them.
And that thing was up in the air, which felt again like an hour and a half. And the camera comes down, and there's DK, and there's a guy right on him. And you're like, well, I hope the hell that ball gets past the defender. If not, that's a pick.
He's just too big and too strong.
He is. And then they come down, and again on freaking fourth down, right?
Well, they on what, second down, I think DK looked like he got a touchdown.
Oh, yes.
And I kind of thought that was a touchdown.
No, it wasn't.
How do you figure?
Because he dropped it.
Yeah,
oh, no,
he didn't drop. Well, he had it, and he was across the goal line.
No, it didn't. He didn't cleanly catch it. I know what you're talking about. Anyway, it comes down to what Disney and what the production crew, the writers, directors, everybody, hair, makeup wants it to come down to. The last flipping second, Russell's back there. He throws a dart, and I didn't even know if DK caught. He's diving to his left.
You couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell. He hits the ground, and then you're thinking, oh, God, the ball might have touched the ground. They're going to replay it in slow-mo with 3D, 4D,
You have the perfect phrase for that. They're a Disney movie.
Oh, my God.
That's exactly what they are. They got to start off. They got to like get you, all worried and everything. It's a total Disney movie.
And then afterwards, you said today again, which you hate and I hate, Pete Carroll is in the locker room afterwards. They win the game 27-26. And Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are just like, these guys are unbelievable. And I tweeted up or something like, literally NBC should get these guys under contract because every single time they're on, it's drama.
Well, and they made that comment. I think Al Michaels or somebody said that too, that they should have them on every Sunday.
In between finishing chicken wing.
Yeah. But back to your point, Pete was doing that whole thing in the locker room. Can you win the game in the first quarter? Blah blah, which I get it. He's got a point, but you can sure as hell lose a game in the first quarter because they've done it many times.
Oh my God. Yeah, the playoffs last year against Green Bay.
Or Carolina like 4 years ago when they went down like 35-0 in the first quarter. They lost, and sure enough, in that game, they just needed a few more seconds at the end of the game because they made that miraculous comeback. Same with Green Bay.
The only reason they win that game is Russell Wilson.
Correct.
He is #clutch Russ. I don't know what to say. He's insane, and he's got to do it with one hand hanging off a cliff. His other one, you know what I mean? He's just,
he already leads the league by a long ways on these since 2012. He's got the most fourth quarter comebacks than anybody in the NFL. But there's a negative about that. There's a reason for that. Because they're always losing in the fourth quarter, and he has to come back.
Yes. Yes. Now, the good news is we love Russ. We're so lucky to have him. He did remember what down it was.
Unlike Tommy.
Tommy! What, Tommy?
Although I don't know that it would have mattered if he had incompletes on both of them, and it wouldn't have mattered if it would.
We were here recording when
Correct.
Tom did that, and he didn't get enough shit. Again, I always reference Michael Wilbon even said it's not even the fact that he had a senior moment, whatever. That's like unbelievable. It's hard to fall that far because you're the GOAT. The fact that he ran off like a little freaking schoolboy child.
Well, because Nick Foles beat him again.
I know. He can't beat Nick Foles.
That was unclassy.
It was beyond unclassy.
Sitting there waiting at the, in the middle of the field, looking around for Tom Brady, and Brady's gone.
And he didn't get enough shit for it. I don't think of course, Tampa Bay is not going to give any crap. But anyway, for those of you listening around the country and actually in the world, Australia, by the way, is kicking up. We got like 5 listeners there. I know.
No way. Is that our new contingent?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to start talking about. I know.
G'day.
we have to start talking about like rugby, and,
Australian rules football.
Yeah,
I like it.
I know a lot about like the snakes and the spiders down there.
Do you?
The box jellyfish and all. I can do some Australian trivia for sure.
I bet you do. But we're gonna take a quick break.
I got the Sydney funnel web. You don't want to get bit by one of those.
Oh my God!
Are you taking a break already?
It's unbelievable. We're going to take a quick break to get Mike Factor on the line. He is the proprietor and owner of EasyMedicalStore.com. Not only that, he's a certified brain health coach, which you and I need.
And apparently his wife's a diehard Steeler fan.
Yes.
You guys already had a break.
Kathy Conley Factor. I said her name right this time. It's not Connor, it's Conley.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did say her name like 17 times. By the way, as we just take a pause real quickly, and we'll come right back and get Mike Factor on, I brought a treat here. This is the Miller High Life. This is champagne of beers.
It's normally not allowed in the Boyle.
No, I had to sign a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
You don't sound happy
I wouldn't
about
flush my toilet with this stuff.
Are you serious? It's a champagne of beers.
Says who?
On the podcast, if you're listening to the podcast, we're going to take a short break, get Mike on. We'll be right back. All right, Mike has the link and everything. I'll tell him. I thought you had bits to play and everything. Look at this.
Look like one of the Elvis.
Yeah, what is that? Is that Pee Wee football? What's going on over there? That is an Elvis, 59. Oh, that is against the Bellevue Wolverines. Well, if you're thinking this could just get ugly, and maybe it will, but remind you that Mountain Lake Terrace has had a propensity this year to come back. They are the cardiac comeback kids, as Zymus is still in at quarterback with Carter. Ian Black, if you're just joining us, got dinged up. He's going to sit out tonight. Not even dressed. Good snap. Zymus gets it over to Bunt. Bunt clears the 30.
He's going to split him.
He's gone. Bye. Bunt.
He's extending.
90 yards. Colton, bye-bye, Bunt. Grizzly touchdown. Our McDaniels do it center, and that didn't take long.
How many yards was that? That was a 90-yarder.
That's Johnny McClain.
I don't think I was at that.
And that's why he's called Colton Bye-Bye Bunt, because it wasn't even close.
No, and then you just see he extended his lead the entire time. He thought people were still chasing him, maybe even getting closer.
He was going to run through the track, over the fence, into the parking lot.
He would have run through the fence, Scott. Come on.
We have Mike Factor ready
Kicker
to go.
Kev.
You're seeing some old STSPN.
Plank the hold,
28-3. Hold is down, the kick is up, and it's good.
A good start would be good. A bad start's not good.
God.
Classic.
That is a classic STSPN. If you're watching the stream, some funny old clips from our Glacier Peak Grizzly broadcasts. Okay. We're going to see if we can get Factor on. Mike Factor. He's joining, supposedly. And once he gets on, I will start the other podcast recording. This is a great stream right here.
This is a good stream.
So yeah,
Are we
that
streaming
game
right now?
Yeah, apparently we're blue. So apparently when we're blue, we're streaming.
We should be talking about something.
We could talk. We got a million things to talk
All
about.
right.
Are you kidding me? I got a list. I mean, you want to go? I don't want to. Hold on. Let me hit record.
Oh, we're not recording. Okay, never mind.
I mean, we're recording, but we're not recording. He should be joining, but we want to stay on NFL, and then we're going to go to college, and then we got to talk Joe Morgan. We got to talk about Zunino.
Correct.
Who I looked up, actually, Zunino's life story.
Okay.
To add insult to injury.
We're going to spend like 20 minutes on the Mariners that everybody wants to talk about.
That and golf. There's Mike Factor. There he is. Hey, we can hear you too. Hold on. Let me start it.
There we are.
All right. Joining us now on the EasyMedicalStore.com Scott and Tim Sports Show is the guy who created it all, Mike Factor. Mike, calling from Phoenix, Arizona. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Great to see
Good
you.
to see you, Mike.
There he is. There he is.
Check him out.
With the greatest bourbon and whiskey collection this side of the Pecos Mountains, I think.
Something I'm proud of.
Mike, so EasyMedicalStore.com, we've been talking about the hyperbaric chamber, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It's great not only for regenerative things as far as injuries. I told you I watched I've been watching all kinds of YouTube channel stuff. We saw the Joe Namath clip, but I mean, you're actually the real deal. And the thing, I grew up with you. I think I told that story. So I haven't seen your father in, I don't know, 45 years or something.
Probably
Tell
so.
us real quick the story of how you got into this and how it's so easy to do this hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, so it's been like a labor of love because my dad developed Alzheimer's the past 5 to 8 years, and watching him starting to grasp with things of memory. And memory is a big thing for him because he's been in business all of his life. And so you kind of see that. Now, I've been in healthcare for 28 years. My first professional job, I was a nursing home administrator at the age of 24. And I get to see things that are happening, like medical publications, new things that come out. Last year, January 2019, there's a neurologist out of New Orleans. His name is Dr. Paul Harch, and he does a lot of research for LSU. And he's, I don't know how old he is. He's probably 60, 70 years old, and he's dedicated his life to hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Well, in January 2019, he was published that he reversed Alzheimer's in a patient. And it was very compelling. And he says the trick is dosing, having the right amount of pressure, the right amount of oxygen. And so taking a scientific approach, they took images of the brain before, and he had a protocol, and he found out what the right pressure would be, the right amount of oxygen by using a SPECT scan. And then he started a protocol, and they would do 40 treatments. Now, a treatment is a 1-hour session in a hyperbaric chamber.
I heard them called dives because of the submarine, the going in the ocean and all that kind of scuba diving things.
Yeah, the hyperbaric chamber was originally made for people that have decompression sickness. So if you're out diving,
the bends, that's your Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah,
that's right. So
I feel like we have the bends sometimes.
They would do a dive every day, Monday through Friday, for a month, and then they take a week off and do the same thing for the next month, which is equivalent 40 dives, 20 dives a month. And then he did another scan, and in this particular patient, they got 36 to 38% cell growth back into the brain.
Just like Joe Namath.
Yes, isn't that a great testimony? Joe Namath, he's had several concussions. If you see that interview with Howard Stern, he talked about how he had 5 concussions. And his concussions, he says, is like he was knocked out. Like he had to have smelling salts. And now, you can get a concussion without even being knocked out. But he had them pretty bad. And he went and had some SPECT scans, and they showed deterioration of the brain. And he was really worried about it because he had a fellow teammate having memory issues from concussions and so forth. So he went and got checked out. And he did 40 dives, and he noticed after 40 dives that the dark spots in the SPECT scan started getting lighter. And then he did another 40, and then he did another 40. And I think he's done over 200 dives. And he says that his brain is as healthy as it's ever been on those SPECT scans. And he says he's feeling wonderful and has great memory, which is a great testimony.
Yeah, we're talking about Joe Namath at this point, right?
That's right, yes.
Because if you remember Joe from years ago, he always seemed a little goofy, and you never knew what was wrong with him. And
then he
seemed pretty lucid. He seemed very lucid in his interview with Howard Stern.
No, he seemed very good, but then he had the famous, this is years ago, wasn't that on Monday Night Football with what's her name? he like tried to kiss her or something.
Yeah, but then I guess he was drunk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was before he got this. But anyway, easymedicalstore.com. Not only can you get this, but the deal is these hyperbaric chambers, they don't cost $1 billion, Mike Factor. They don't, like I said, it's faster than setting up a dresser from IKEA. It doesn't take 17 people and 3 phone books of instructions. Remember phone books, by the way, that's something for those kids out there who used to get those. That's where the numbers of your phone used to be in.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. So you have been on this journey with your father, and it's shown, it's not a one hit. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. From what I understand, it's not like anything. It's like you do this and then there's supplements, there's all these diet and health. It's a whole comprehensive thing.
Yeah. So, with my dad having Alzheimer's and me being in healthcare, a light bulb went off and thinking, gosh, maybe I can buy them and incorporate it into my business. And so I started researching hyperbaric chambers, and then knowing that the idea that the body has to be in a healing environment. And the healing environment just doesn't mean you're in a hyperbaric chamber. I mean, you want to be on the right diet. You want to be feeding the brain with the right supplements and fats. And
Coors Light.
Coors Light.
Yeah. Bourbon. Sorry, that's not true. That I'm not a medical doctor.
Way to go, Scott.
Wait a minute. Kathy Conley Factor. Where's Kathy Conley Factor?
She is with the kids in the other room.
I want to make sure we get our quota in to say her name properly in the show this time. Kathy Conley Factor. And Tim's brought up some Pittsburgh tidbits.
I got some good Pittsburgh tidbits.
Just for her.
Do I need to pull her in the room?
Seriously, we're like a Steelers talk show now.
No, you don't have to, but you can, but you don't have to. She can always catch it, when we record, when we drop it.
And
tomorrow.
Mike was so this has shown promise to your dad is the point of this, right? This obviously it's the form of dementia, which you've educated me in the last few days. It's helping, right? This is helping. This is bringing a whole new thing to everybody in the Factor family.
It's absolutely helping. Because of the COVID thing, I got to say that he hasn't had 40 dives, but we put his body in a healing environment. He has had under 20 dives, and we started seeing a difference after the first 3, and then we started seeing great after 10 dives.
So it's actually reversing. It's actually literally reversing the Alzheimer's.
That's the idea, that it's reversing, it's growing cells back into the brain where the brain can heal itself.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. And I'm serious and I'm joking about this, but good thing this is recorded because I don't know how long do you and I have.
I need to get one.
Seriously. I mean, we're going to get one in the Boyle Theater for sure. We're going to record a show from it is what we're committing to. But the point is that this is actually unbelievable and can help a million things. And we talk to sports, Mike. God, these guys are so cocked up, as we say in Yiddish. They're messed up. They got concussions. The CTE, the documentary that came out. We talk about Earl Thomas. Honestly, like ship him one. Somebody call somebody Earl Thomas. He's
gonna have to do a lot of dives.
Antonio Brown needs to be doing some dives.
Yeah, you'll notice after concussions and if there's brain damage that there's behavioral issues. They'll lash out, or they'll be defiant, or they may even go into a depression, have brain fog, and have a hard time searching words or orientation, knowing where they are. Maybe even slipping into depression. You can
look at some of these players in the NFL. That behavior is certainly not normal. It's not even close to normal, and it could be from how many hits they've taken.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to get you. First of all, thank you for your unbelievable sponsorship, easymedicalstore.com. You can check it out if you're in the Phoenix local area. Go to easymedicalstore.com. You can check out the phone number. They got way more stuff than just hyperbaric chambers, but that is a big focus and kind of now your new passion, or one of your passions, other than your bourbon whiskey collection, which is unbelievable. He has a bottle of Pappy from 1918 or something. It's worth $8 trillion. I'm not sure. Can you feed that through the interwebs here?
Well, when you're in town, Mikasa Sukasa, come on over.
Yeah, there we go. But so I'll let you go on this one. Why in the heck did you do this? Why did you want to sponsor these clowns?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, that's true. It's a good point.
You really put him on the spot there.
That's awesome.
It kind of, Scott, this is all you. I mean, knowing you from being 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, seeing you take vinyl records, recording onto cassette tapes, and acting like a DJ in the background.
It's true. You're talking about an imitation. Yeah.
And this is exactly you. This is your passion here. And I got to see you post this on Facebook and other social medias. And so I started listening to it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is fun. It kept my attention. I just think it's a fantastic show. You guys
could you tell our wives, because they don't we can't hold their attention at all.
Mine doesn't even know I do a show.
Either does. The biggest thing is MikeFactor _CBHC. That's when we have it in the links. I put it in the links of the show. That's when you want to check this guy. You've got like thousands of followers on TikTok. Oh, there's Todd. Hey, Todd. Todd Elvin coming out. MikeFactor _CBHC, which is Certified Brain Health Coach. How many? You have like a bazillion TikTok followers and Facebook and all kinds of jazz, right?
So yeah, I just started a couple months ago giving brain health tips and kind of talking about Alzheimer's, and I'm going to be moving on to other subjects like post-concussion syndrome and autism. But after a couple months, I got about 20,000 followers on there, and I probably make 2, 3, 4 videos a week, and talking about brain health and supplements and other things to keep your brain healthy. And prevention, we talked a lot about prevention, sleep apnea, using CPAP so you have nocturnal oxygen.
And where would I get one of those if I needed a CPAP? EasyMedicalStore.com, Tim?
That's a shameless plug.
That was shameless. And y'all shameless. Shameless as I ever been. All right, MikeFactor, I can't thank you enough. We have a lot to get to. You're more than happy to stay on here. But we got to talk Steeler football, number one. We got other NFL stuff. I got to talk about Phil Rivers, and I literally have a talk about preventative. My arm hurts watching him throw the football.
Philip Rivers?
Yes, for the Indianapolis Colts. It's tragedy. I love Phil. All right, we'll be back with more. Thank you, Mike. I will talk to you, I'm sure, soon, and keep up the great work, and we'll do a show from the chamber here shortly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. For those streaming on STSPN, we'll be right back.
All right. And I'll tell you what, the coach Jackson is just somebody's puking on the field. He's throwing up all over the place. Oh no. They're going to have to clean that one up. And he's still throwing up. Sorry, folks, but we got to show it to you. That's just part of the game. Part of the game. They're going to have to clean that up. It looks like there's a bunch of Cheerios down on the field.
We know one of the GP players last week. It's unfortunately not that uncommon, and Tommy Cron couldn't keep the frosted flakes down.
Whoa. I think and before that happened, the coach we need to get A. Wesco out here to clean that up. We got a septic problem on the field.
Call Jesse right now. A. Wesco septic.
They're gloving up here.
Oh my!
Gloving up.
Make sure the drainage is on here. That's an official's time.
They're throwing some Gatorade on it. Look at that.
Spray it. Unbelievable.
And
that's our A. Wesco septic. Throw up timeout.
You know what they could do is just bring a couple dogs on the field. They'd have that up in like 2 seconds.
Absolutely. That's a brilliant idea.
I know.
Hey, Todd, we need
Oh, my God.
That brings us back a little.
It does. Don't we need a beverage?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I can get it myself.
Right?
I
wanted to hear that.
Do I have the code? That was so funny. Those streaming on STSPN. You can watch. I'll do a little informational housekeeping. By the way, the Scott and Tim Sports Show now is going to create a news podcast. When you search it, it'll be in your feed as the Scott and Tim Sports Show with their little logo. And I don't know, maybe Todd can pull up the logo here at some point. But anyway, it's going to be on Something About Nothing as well. We're going to ease it on. There's the logo right there, Scott and Tim Sports Show. Easy Medical Store logo put in there nicely. Nice job. Shout out to to Mike and Kathy there. But anyway, you're going to look for it on the Scott and Tim Sports Show, wherever you get podcasts. Seriously, it doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, Google, Spotify, TuneIn, doesn't matter. It don't matter. Anywhere you go, you can get it. Thank you so much. The service here at the Boyle Theater is absolutely incredible. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad about the Miller High Lifes. I thought I was bringing the champagne and beers.
They're awesome. We just didn't fill out the proper paperwork.
Okay, well, I'm probably going to get fined.
Oh, we're not recording right now?
Well,
Are we live streaming?
We're live streaming right now.
Sweet.
All right, here we go.
It's hoedown time.
Back. And we're back. You're back. That's right. You're watching and listening to the Scott and Tim Sports Show, brought to you by EasyMedicalStore.com, of course. And we are here live at the Boyle Theater. The game's over. The Titans just crushed the Bills.
I'm kind of hoping, rooting for the Bills because I want them to dethrone the Patriots out of that division. Finally.
Yes.
Somebody's got to do it.
And Josh Allen is fun to watch.
He's having a career year.
He is. He's supposedly in the MVP discussion, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Which, back to Russ, he's in the MVP, but he's always in the MVP until about week 9 or 10, and then something goes off and he's out.
And he's actually never received a vote.
No,
we talked about that.
Yeah, Chris Collinsman. Yeah. But let's move on to just quick other NFL news, and then I want you to get to your Pittsburgh Steelers shout-outs. Dan Quinn fired. We talked about that as DC. The other thing is, I mean, did you watch on Red Zone the Indianapolis game?
I was watching bits and pieces of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Phillip Rivers, I mean, he starts throwing the ball. He doesn't even cock back. He's like halfway. I love him. Well, he has such a future in radio and broadcast, whatever. He's got 9 kids. He needs the money. I understand.
Yeah, he's going to be playing until he's 60. He's going to be playing longer than Brady.
It's a gots to go.
But I'm glad that's kind of a good segue into my little. I had a little thing about.
Well, we were rehearsed, of course.
Well,
all the prep work.
I don't think I actually put that in the notes though. But that was his 229th straight game.
How many interceptions?
I don't know how many interceptions. No, I'm talking starting 229th straight start. Second only to Brett Favre, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. So it's quite the accomplishment.
Oh, Mike's available with his wife apparently.
Oh. Okay.
Hey, oh my gosh. It's Kathy Conley Factor. I finally got your name right.
Where's the Steelers gear?
Now you get to do the Steelers. Oh, can we hear you?
Oh, we got kids there too.
Hi. I shouldn't
Scott,
shout.
You need to be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I'll get the beverages out. Why don't you go? Okay, so that was things. And then also the Steelers come up with a big win over the dreaded Eagles, which that rivalry is intense, as Kathy knows.
And the Steelers are 4-0. I'm sure Kathy knows that very well.
Kathy Conley Factor.
But did you know the last time they were 4-0, you have to go back to the 78-79 season. They actually did it both those years. And those are 2 years they also won the Super Bowl. And that's the last time they've been 4-0.
Was that the Bradshaw, Lynn
Swan?
Heck
yeah,
Solward?
Bradshaw, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, all those guys.
Loved it.
The Steel Curtain.
I loved it. I was so into that. Mike Factor even told me the other day on the phone. He's like, yeah, you used to think you were Lynn Swan and talking about it. Oh, God.
John Stallworth.
Oh, I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Franco Harris.
Unbelievable. That's a good tidbit. That's a good Steelers tidbit.
I know, but you would think that they've had some really good teams even after that, but they've never been 4-0. And I'm not done yet.
I know. I was just going to say, go on.
And by the way, the reason I hate the Steelers is not, to their credit, it was because they were so darn good when I was growing up. They were just won everything. The Dolphins kind of dominated the first part of the 70s, and then the Steelers took over and won 4 Super Bowls.
I mean, it's why we hate the Yankees and the Patriots, because they're so good.
Yeah, correct. And then my brother was a huge Steelers fan, and we went, we'd go head to head. But anyway. But one thing I will say, they do have the best little gimmick thing in all of football.
What gimmick?
The terrible towel.
Oh, I love the terrible towel.
There is nothing better than the terrible towel.
Love the terrible towel.
And a little trivia on that, it almost didn't happen. It was this close to not happening because a bunch of the players didn't like it and some of the Steeler executives didn't like it. But one of the radio stations had already ordered them. And
no kidding.
Yeah, and they ended up going with it. And all of a sudden, they introduced it in the 1975 playoff game against the Baltimore Colts. And I actually remember that game, believe it or not.
You were out of control. Somebody must stop you.
Literally remember they had Burt Jones as quarterback. And of course, I was rooting for Burt Jones. And the Steelers knocked him out of the game somehow. I remember. But anyway, and the Steelers ended up dominating them. But that's when they entered. And all of a sudden, at one point, they whipped 30,000 fans started waving the terrible towel in one section, and it was, from there it's history.
That is unbelievable. And then the Coke commercial, Mean
Joe Green. Yeah, that's one of the best Super Bowl commercials of all time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
One more little Steelers trivia.
Oh wow, we are really putting it all out. Save yourself so you have some for next time.
I can't because next week it won't be relevant. Otherwise, I would save it.
God, Kathy Conley Factor.
She's going to be loving life.
Seriously, this is like, excuse me, we should change the name of the show.
Chase Claypool.
Oh my God, I picked him up. By the way, don't try and pick him up.
You picked him up. I picked him up.
No, I already claimed him.
Anyway, he had 4 TDs the other day. But did you know when the last Steeler that's had 4, and he's a rookie, but the last Steeler period that's had 4 TDs?
No.
You have to go all the way back to 1968 to some guy named like something Jefferson in 1968.
No kidding.
Yeah, like Roy Jefferson or something. Think about like all the players they've had.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now it doesn't count like passing touchdowns, but somebody that's got, like a receiver or running back that's got 4 touchdowns.
No, the whole thing on the last touchdown, his 4th touchdown, which is kind of over the middle. Apparently, the story is Ben Roethlisberger after the game. He said, or they interviewed Claypool. He's like, I didn't even actually know where I was supposed to go. I was trying to ask Ben. He didn't even know what route he was supposed to be on. And Ben apparently, the Eagles are this bad. Ben apparently pointed to where he was supposed to go, and the Eagles still didn't pick it up.
That's like backyard football. Go out.
And he catches it and runs he goes right through the middle of the defense, catches the ball. Nobody's even anywhere near him.
Unreal.
Anyway,
well, also unreal that we didn't even know if Roethlisberger was going to be playing this year because he got hurt last year.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of at the end of his career.
And the beard. We didn't know he'd come back from the beard.
That thing was hideous.
Couple people in there. We're not sure. Hey, I don't want to stop the Tim Boyle Steeler trivia train. So you got more?
It hurt bad enough just to do this.
Seriously.
So I'm done.
You got anything else on the NFL? Because I want to talk about a little NFL NFC West because your Fitz magic, your Fins.
Before we get to that, it's going to be hard for people to believe, but the Browns are 4-1.
Yes.
I fact checked it like 6 times. They are 4-1.
Yes.
How is that possible?
I work with all these people in the Cleveland area, so go Browns.
And in fairness, everybody kind of wants to see the Browns do well. Everybody likes the underdog. They've been the underdog for so long.
And everybody, they were the preseason favorites last year. They're like every one of my good ideas. Their timing's off. I'm always a little early or late.
Correct.
So I'm rooting for the Browns.
It's hard. I'm not quite sold on the Baker Mayfield thing, but
the Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. Anything else there?
So the Raiders.
They actually beat. Hold on, behind the curtain. He put in the notes the Raiders, and then he says, "You're gonna do your." He actually puts in there, "You do your Raider thing you always do."
What you like to do.
I do. That Raiders.
They won. They beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are no longer undefeated.
Who saw that coming?
I know.
They look. Not only did they beat them, they look like crapola.
They did. Now the next point is Derek Carr at quarterback. Is he actually the guy? I mean, come on, seriously.
No, he's not.
Why does Gruden stick with him?
Because he loves him. He has Peterman.
But he's the quarterback guru. Gruden is.
This is the shoe salesman that doesn't have shoes. It's the computer fixer engineer guy who never has a computer. He's too far in his little zone and bubble. He has no perspective. Derek Carr is not the guy.
Yeah, he's not. You can't. Can you see him taking them to a Super Bowl?
No,
not even close.
No.
Now we'll probably eat our words. This is kind of a weird year for everything.
That is, and of course I bench Ruggs the one day he goes off. Nice job out of me. No, I don't like Derek. I mean, Derek Carr's fine. He's fine, but he's Derek Carr. Yeah, it's like Kirk Cousins. This is what the game. Not to go back here, but it's like all we had to do was let Kirk Cousins be Kirk Cousins and we win.
Correct.
And we didn't let him do that. So that's back to that. The Rams, okay, first of all, your Finns, again, 2 shockers out of the weekend, right? Is that Chiefs loss and how
Correct.
they lost. And then secondly, holy crap, your Finns come all the way to San Fran and they destroy the 49ers.
I was just a week off when I was talking last week about Miami was going to do so well. And
well, right.
I was just a week off.
That's okay. So. That's fine. You're a week off. That's right. You picked them to beat.
Well, no,
Seahawks.
I actually didn't. I picked them to give them a good game.
We're not going to go here again.
God, do we have to get the thing on air?
Yeah,
so
we actually have like the dream sequence, and we go back and play it again. Anyway, so they go in. Fitzmagic looks great. Gaskin, local kid. We can root for him now. You can root for him because he's not a Husky. He does a great job. But then everybody's, Fitzmagic. I want to play Tua. But does no one remember that we all hail Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic?
For the first like 5 or 6 weeks,
exactly.
And then all of a sudden he's toast.
Literally like your cell phone battery. It runs out. The older it is, it won't charge as much anymore.
They figure out the magic.
Yes.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, Fitzmagic is no longer Fitzmagic. It's like everyone's like, oh, Fitzmagic. Like, yeah. It's like the MVP discussion with Russ.
Maybe he needs to shave that beard because that thing is
my God,
heinous.
that's nasty.
Especially during COVID. You'd think they'd like get rid of those. You know, the things carrying like the viruses all over it.
It is. We're going to take a very quick break to Todd Elvig's disgruntled. But we're going to, is there, that's all. Oh, wait. Hold on. Before last night, Monday night football. You had Herbert, the young kid out of Oregon.
They should have had that game.
They should have won that game. They have lost by a pinky every freaking time. The guy had that kick. Talk about a doink. Doink. I think of you every time now of you dropping your phone through like 17 levels in Greece.
Yes.
Doink, doink, doink.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Doink. And then some lady comes running up with it.
But Justin Herbert, now everybody loves him. And the Chargers lose.
He's 0-4.
I know, but come on. We got to keep the Herbert Eason controversy alive.
Oh, that's right. Eason's starting, right? Is Softy still on that bandwagon?
Oh, God. Okay, now we've done that. I had to get that out. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk college football and a couple other things.
Do it.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to come back and talk about college football. I want to talk about the overtime, and I want to talk about the worst call, our new segment.
That's like a new worst call. New worst call. And I think the criteria of a worst call has to determine, like it has to lose the game or win the game for somebody that.
The one we didn't even talk about last week was the epic Rams one. Did you talk about that one against the Saints?
Oh yeah, because that actually changed history.
And it's funny when I posted on Instagram, you said great. I was looking on Google Images and I go worst call ever, and that's what popped up.
The Seahawk one.
The Seahawk one.
Yeah, I was just kidding when I was saying that.
I know. But I didn't have to look for that one. All right, well, this is behind the curtain here on STSPN. You're seeing a break here on the Scott and Tim podcast.
Are we streaming right now?
We're blue, so that means we're streaming.
Good evening, everybody.
I'm sure we have all 3 listeners. Do you need anything? You want some vittles or anything?
I'm good at the moment.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm literally on the edge of my seat.
Thank you for offering from me my own vittles. I appreciate that.
Anything else you need in your house? Anything else I can get you?
Can you make me a sandwich?
No problem. Okay. All right, we're ready to come back here. See, look at our time. We're right on. No, we're good.
Yeah, All right.
All right, we are back. We've covered the Seahawks, the NFL, all kinds of stuff here. Big thanks again to easymedicalstore.com. Go check them out. Now, Tim, we talked. I actually really got and enjoyed college football, and you and I were texting back and forth.
There were some good games this week.
There were some great games. We're going to start with our new segment, The Worst Call Ever.
This was classic. So that was the Arkansas-Auburn game.
Yes.
Arkansas is winning by a couple points, and there's just seconds left in the game. Auburn's going down to – Auburn needs to go kick a field goal, okay?
Yep.
To win the game.
Yep.
And
it's dumping rain. The weather's horrible. And you got Bo Nix, the phenom sophomore quarterback for Auburn.
He's the QB. They need to stop the clock so they can kick a field goal, right? So since it's raining, they basically hike the ball to him so he can spike it. Well, he kind of fumbles the ball a little bit. Well, then he actually goes and spikes the ball backwards, which I've never seen that before, and I don't think anybody else. Have you ever seen anybody spike the ball backwards?
I don't think so. The announcers had never seen it. Nobody had seen it.
Well, I'm watching it live, and it took me a minute, and they're kind of showing it in read because
I thought you called it live, and I thought you said Mindy, like you were all over it.
Not exactly at that moment. But let me keep going with the story. So he spikes it backwards, and then basically one of the Arkansas guy, after a scrum, the Arkansas guy recovers, but they had blown it dead and called it intentional grounding.
Right.
Because they said basically once you fumble the snap, you can't do a spike, blah, blah, blah. Well, the problem is after they keep showing them, the refs are like talking and conversing.
Yeah.
And after a few seconds, I'm looking, I go, well, wait, he spiked it backwards. So that's a live ball.
There you go. Yes.
But I've never seen that before. The refs had never seen that. The announcers never even, and they didn't pick up on it till about 3 minutes in. I think somebody finally buzzed their ear.
Probably put it in their ear. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they go to New York, they go all these places up in the booth.
But it even took them 3 minutes to figure it out. But I'm like trying to show Mindy. I'm like, Mindy, look at this. The guy spikes the ball back. She didn't seem to care. She's like, oh, really? Okay, blah, 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 blah. Really? But I need to tell somebody. I got to tell somebody.
You're so knowledgeable about
I know.
That's not a good impression. Mindy's way better.
No, she's actually into football, but not really into the weeds when you talk about rules and stuff like that.
I mean, you have to be going out of your mind.
I'm kind of like going crazy. I'm like, it's like that's a live ball. Arkansas, he recovers, that game's over.
It was an all caps text to me.
Yes. And finally, after like 3 minutes, the guy on TV goes, yeah, and he kind of spiked that backwards, and then they started like, elaborating on that, but they ended up calling it intentional grounding. I don't know why they didn't reverse the call.
They should have, and then
you can reverse that call.
But then they have the rules experts, and then we saw it on the Twitter, right? On the Twitter machine, all the ex-pro, Terry McCullough and all these people come on going, that is a live ball.
Yep, and they said it didn't matter. The whistle doesn't matter because there was a clear recovery, and that should have been Arkansas ball, game over.
Auburn goes on to kick it. They win 30-28.
And we have a criteria that we have on worst calls ever.
Yeah.
It has to determine the game. Like it has to win the game or lose the game for somebody on the bad call.
Correct.
But it obviously won the game for Auburn.
Yes. Any worst calls, I would tweet at Tim at tboyle15.
Correct.
Because you are the referee that never refereed.
Well, people want the referees to make mistakes.
Of course they do.
They don't even know. They don't even know it. They don't even know it. It's in their subconscious. But they want the refs to make mistakes.
Yes, and there were several times, where once again, when you see the replay, it's like plain as day. Not that play, but other plays, and then they take 5 hours to go resolve it. It drives me crazy.
Well, back to that call. The reason they screwed up the call is because I don't think anyone's ever seen a backward spike before.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why they screwed up the call. And I understand it.
Because we only have SEC football in the Pac. Big Ten's getting close. I think another week from Saturday, maybe they get started, and then the Pac-12 on November 7th. But Georgia just routs Tennessee 44-21.
That was close, though.
It was, and their defense seems to be the only defense, and that's one of the other things. Texas A&M, huge upset over Florida, 41-38. Jimbo Fisher, $75 million, and he hasn't done shit
until then.
and Florida might be overrated. And then we get to the
Oklahoma, Texas.
Oklahoma, Texas, the
Red River
Showdown. What a freaking game. I love college football overtime rules. And you don't.
No, I do.
Wait a minute. What about the 7 overtime LSU?
I just don't think it should go to 7 overtime.
Why not?
Because I think after like 5, it should be like, I don't know. After like 5 overtimes, they should call it a tie, or they should change the criteria, put some gimmicks in there or something, or
put a guy on second.
But you noticed in that game, a bunch of people started getting hurt.
I
in the overtime.
did.
You notice that?
Yes,
and you
know,
Tim's gonna. You probably were thinking Tim's gonna give
Yeah.
me crap on that.
That's
But
exactly
the thing.
what
That's
I
what
thought.
happens. I don't want to see people start getting hurt.
No.
Like that one game that there was 7 overtimes. There was like 10 people
Okay.
that got hurt in that.
I
thing.
agree, and this
Thank
year's a
you.
different year. Okay, I
Thank you.
kind
We
of
can
agree.
just stop it right there.
I kind of agree. I still love overtime. It's thrilling, but this is my other thing. Going back to like these are young 18 to 21-year-old kids. This is all they do all day long. They should be prepared. They should be in the greatest shapes of their lives.
They are, but that doesn't mean you're not. I mean, after like when you're playing in the heat and stuff, and all of a sudden the game's going on for 5 hours,
my dad dropped me off at the YMCA at 9 a.m. and he picked me up at 4, and I never stopped playing.
And I'm sure you were playing Division I college level football too, and
close, very close.
But it's not that they're not in shape. It's just that when you keep extending those games, more people start getting injured, and they
have 150 kids out there.
So you want like your star quarterback to get hurt in the 7th overtime?
The 8th.
I know I'm probably in the minority on this.
I don't know. I love because it's entertaining as hell. So Texas, Oklahoma, that was an epic game. Oklahoma ends up winning it 53-45.
Great game.
What a flipping game. And to lead into that, because that is Big 12 football, hey, welcome to the Iowa State Cyclone bandwagon, Tim Boyle.
Oh, man.
Love the Cyclones.
I'm on their bandwagon right now.
Wow. Why?
I forgot you were Iowa, not Iowa State.
That's okay. Why are you on the Iowa State bandwagon?
I don't know. They've been because there's only like 4 games you can. I mean, there's only a couple teams you can watch every week, and they're on.
And honestly, from a marketing standpoint, nice job out of them.
Yeah,
because we had nothing else to watch.
But they won again, right?
Yeah, 31-15 over Texas Tech. They're 3-1.
And who'd they beat last? They beat somebody good last week too.
Yeah, I didn't have that note.
Yeah. Oklahoma, didn't they?
Yes, I think
it was
they might
Oklahoma.
have.
Yeah,
I think they might have. And then Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, he plays Alabama. Actually, is a good game until the maybe second half. They had to put 63 on them, which leads to my other question before we talk Major League Baseball playoffs. Tim, does the SEC not have no defense anymore?
No, apparently. Well, have you seen the NFL this year?
I know, and I have some theories on that.
So do I.
What's your theories?
Well, I think there's a couple. Like one, there's really no home field advantage, so both teams can score pretty well. So that's
you see the defensive crowd.
That's one. Gosh, there's a lot. I think the offensive schemes are just farther ahead of the defensive schemes right now by quite a bit.
Well, also the rules, right? I mean, I would not.
But they
didn't
change the rules from last year.
No, that's true. I wouldn't want to be a DB or line. I wouldn't want to be a defensive player. That's just a nightmare because you're set up to fail.
Correct. I mean, like we talked about this before. Like in the Marino days, he would have got 600 yards a game if he had the benefit of what they have today.
I heard Warren Sharp, who you and I both follow. He's a good follow on Twitter, by the way. He's an analytical guy.
He's awesome
for NFL teams. He also made an interesting argument about more teams because of the analytics. They're going for it on 4th down. Now we had the Mike Zimmer Vikings.
Or are they
concept.
talking to Coach Rowe or something?
Exactly.
I think Coach Rowe's like consulting some of these NFL teams.
The Riverboat Gambler.
Yeah. There is a theory that that you're better off going for it.
And it's been prevalent in high school for a long time. So there's a discussion that's part of it as well. Speaking of that, we didn't even mention this, but Alex Smith goes and gets in the game, and again, torrential downpour because of the hurricane byproduct there in D.C. area. The guy gets and plays football and gets the shit kicked out of him, by the way. I watched that
yeah,
on Red Zone.
yeah.
He was on the ground a lot, and this guy he's on one leg.
Well, what do you mean one leg? I
Well,
mean, because he
basically
seems like he's walking fine.
I know, but his leg, he almost died, and his leg almost had to be amputated.
Have
and
you seen the pictures of that? Softy posted it.
It's ridiculous.
Oh
I watched the
God,
documentary.
It looks like it went through the meat grinder.
It's bad.
Or the wood chipper.
Did you?
I'm serious.
Don't get the miter saw from downstairs. That was incredible, but I was like flinching every time. So they show his wife and kids. His wife literally can't watch because she's freaked out.
Yeah, and then he got tackled pretty hard.
Yeah.
And she's like freaking out. Yeah.
And then Haskins. Why can't they put Haskins?
I'm glad you brought that. Because he called in sick.
He did.
He literally called in sick.
He did.
We got to talk about this because I've never heard of this before ever. He literally called, like on Sunday, he's supposed to be like, well, they announced he was going to be the backup.
Right.
And I think he might have been disgruntled. But on Sunday morning, he calls up, I don't know, he talks to the janitor or something and says, hey, this is Haskins. Yeah, my stomach's not feeling that good. I'm not coming in today. He literally called in sick on Sunday.
This guy's getting paid $1 bazillion. Who
does that?
I don't know. There's obviously, God, the Washington football team we just have to be thankful that we have a decent organization that's run well. I mean, they are like the Mariners of the NFL.
God, that's like typical like millennial.
That is a classic defend the millennial.
Yes. They're getting paid millions of dollars and you call in sick on a Sunday. I could see it on like a Wednesday or something. But that's the game day.
No, you mean a Tuesday night when you have a Tuesday night game? I didn't have this on the schedule. I'm supposed to babysit tonight. I can't commit.
Actually, it could be who knows, by next week, it could be a Wednesday game.
That could be. We got the COVID Russian roulette as far as scheduling here. Keep track of it. Okay. But we love the NFL back. We love being able. I was so pissed Sunday night. I was happy.
Oh, mean like when
the first half?
Oh yeah. Oh. I was almost to the point where I was pissed and not happy. It was that bad.
Yes, it was bad.
It was
torture. We were teetering. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to end the show with the Major League Baseball playoffs, which again nobody even knows is happening. First of all, but also
you're talking about the basketball,
yeah, the NBA finals. I saw the ratings are not. Yeah, you're going against the NFL. That's just you're done.
No, that's not what it is.
You're done. Oh my God,
it doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday. Well, of course they might be playing.
No, they're playing, but also the game sucked, and you're going against the NFL. It was Sunday night.
No. Game like. A bunch of like game 5, not game 6, but game 5 was down 70% from last year's game.
Yeah, all of them are down because they're terrible games. There's no zeal. There's nothing. And you got NFL, you got baseball, you got you're inundated. Again, it's a sports organism, which I've talked about. You got too much. And yes, there's no drama. There's no entertainment value. And Miami, nobody cares about Miami. LA is a big market. That's a huge thing, and the NBA is hurting.
You left out one thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
There is some
the
politics.
protest. It's the politics of it.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that, and I knew that's why your note is, and that probably is a contributing factor.
It is because they've already said next year they're not doing it because they're seeing what's happening.
Yes, yeah, but I don't think that. I think the timing of it. Nobody's used to having a championship in October. The teams. LA, LeBron, he's got his 4th, and he wants respect. And again, I saw a big, great Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's won 4 out of 10. He's lost 60% of his championships.
Yeah, you're not going to convince you and I about this.
Yeah.
We're not the ones who are going to convince about this. Says Michael Jordan is the guy.
6-0. I'll take 6-0 with 6 MVP finals. Yeah.
All right. The other thing that it's like day games out here, it's like the games as far as the Major League Baseball playoffs, we have the ALCS and the NLCS, and it's like, I check my phone, I'm like, shit, are they playing? Oh my God, they're playing. Oh my God, they're
playing
done.
At like 11 o'clock in the morning.
What the fuck is that about? Why are they doing that?
Well, no one's watching anyway.
Well, the Rays, I just want to make a note because anytime I can take a shot at Jerry Dipshit DePoto and the Mariners, I
thought you liked him.
Zanino. They're up 2-over against the hated Astros. I mean, everybody hates the Astros. That's something we can all come together on.
Are they like the new New England Patriots?
Totally.
Or are they like they hate? I think people hate the Astros more than they hate the Yankees, and that's really saying something.
That is saying something.
I'd like to take a poll, a Rasmussen poll or something.
You should.
I think people hate the Astros more.
Yeah, that's probably
I sure do.
Oh my God, I can't stand them. So, but they're up 2-0. They start again tomorrow. Braves upset the Dodgers. Everyone says they're going to walk away with it. They're up 1-0. They're playing right now as we record this. But Zunino, the catcher for Tampa Bay, I had to go back and look this up. Again, one of 8,000 trades of Jerry DiPoto, the general manager of the Mariners, in this like 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2012, he was a first-round pick for the Mariners. He was 3rd overall for the Seattle Mariners.
That's
overall.
why they traded him. He didn't want him to do good.
They trade him in 2018, and what does he do? He wins the game 1 for Tampa Bay, and then
did he have a walk-off home run? Or
he had an RBI that won
Okay.
the game, and then he had a home run
Yeah.
in the second win. He's been clutch. He's been unbelievable. And guess who we traded him for?
Somebody that's not even there.
Malik Smith, who's done nothing.
Yeah.
He's on this team, but he's like, He's actually, I think they dropped him down to Tacoma this year for part of the season. And then Guillermo Heredia, who's on his 17th team, and he's in Pittsburgh. I had to find him today on the interwebs.
Literally, the guys made the worst trades ever. He's traded away all our good players for just people like Joe Smith, or I mean, just some random guy that's never going to make it. And then he's also traded players, and then traded them off and traded for him again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what is the guy doing?
No, we keep trading and then bringing back, and we trade him again.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Is he incentivized how many trades he does? It kind of makes me feel like that.
It's almost like he's incentivized to make the worst trade you could possibly make. And I don't know, you have to put it on spreadsheets and do algorithms and okay, what's the worst thing I can do with this guy? But the Mariners have a history of that. I've told you before.
Yeah.
Dave I mean, you could go through a long list, but think about when they traded off Randy Johnson. I think they traded him to Houston originally.
Oh, did they? And then he went to Arizona?
Yeah, he went to Houston for the second half of the year. They couldn't hit the guy. The guy was he almost won the Cy Young in the National League, and he only had a half a year to play. He was literally unhittable. And then he goes to Arizona and wins an additional 4 more Cy Youngs.
And a World Series.
Pitches a perfect game, a World Series. And it's
we couldn't afford him. We didn't want to pay him.
God, good Lord.
I know. Thank God it's not baseball season. But anyway, it's the tragedy here is that Major League Baseball is so fun in the playoffs. And then on a sad note, big shout out, a guy I was just on the late side of watching him play with the Big Red Machine. Joe Morgan dies this past week. But man, he was one of the best baseball commentators of all time.
He was phenomenal. I had no idea he was even sick. I did not see that coming at all.
I didn't either.
But yeah, there was a controversy. He got lost his job and then got it back because he got didn't he get never mind. That was Harold Reynolds.
Oh, that was Harold Reynolds. Yeah. He's great
different second baseman.
But this is the other problem with Major League Baseball, MLB Network, their morning show and their afternoon show. It's great. Harold's on that a lot. He's very good.
But Joe Morgan was on ESPN.
Yes,
he was doing the night games.
Joe Miller, he was on Sunday Night Baseball.
He also did it with Chris
Miller.
Berman a lot too, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
He was phenomenal.
He was part of the Big Red Machine, 2 World Series titles.
Loved him.
Hall of Fame.
Loved him. So that's a sad day there. Anything else on your list that we didn't get to?
Just briefly, because I know we probably don't have any tennis fans out there, but we're going to say
that's right.
Rafael Nadal wins his 13th French Open, which, by the way, if you don't follow tennis, I think Bjorn Borg had 6 or something. I mean, it's unbelievable to win 13.
13 out of 20 or something?
No, 13 out of 14. I think he's been in 14. He's won 13.
So
he's won 20 Grand Slams, but he's won.
Oh, right. The 13, because he's the greatest clay player.
Oh, by far.
Question.
He could probably switch hands and.
Right.
But he also won his 20th major, which ties him with Roger Federer for the most majors all time. So anyway,
And that's your
that's
tennis
your
update.
little tennis tidbit. We're not going to dwell on that.
Okay.
It's like if
I don't
it's
know,
like soccer or something.
Yeah, please. I don't know. You want to talk about the Kraken?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Okay, I feel like we've ended the show kind of on a downturn here.
Have we?
I don't know. I just we talked about a
Yeah,
death.
Joe Morgan. We talked about tennis though. Everybody wants to talk about tennis.
Well, hey, the good news is in Seattle, Washington, our weather has turned to fall, and it's chance of shitty, partly to mostly shitty.
Oh,
with a good chance of
that,
shitty.
they'll appreciate this. You didn't hear the explosion today?
Oh, I didn't hear it, but my wife heard it.
Oh, she did hear it?
Yeah, she heard
that's
like two of them.
There was actually 3, but so I'm sitting minding my own business, doing my work in my office, and all of a sudden the power went out, and about 1 second later, you just heard this huge explosion. Enough to where I'm a lot closer to it probably than you are.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm out of my chair going, what in the world? And I walked outside, and then there was another big explosion, not quite the same as the first one, but and then there was kind of a smaller one. I think a tree might have hit the there's that transfer station that's like a mile away behind the schools and stuff. I think a tree might have hit that.
I don't know. I was powerless, which is very common for us because we have above ground poles. So I was out from what time was that? 9:30ish.
You were out for a few hours.
Yeah, I was out for a few hours. I thought actually it'd be longer.
We were out for about 3 seconds, and it was tough. It was really rough.
It was.
It was touch and go for that.
Seriously, I had to call you and console you and make sure you're all right.
To reset my router. Come on.
I know. He's like, my iPad won't text.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Exactly.
I'm like sitting in the dark, hoping I have enough battery left to
I
get
obviously
to the day.
didn't care about your problems.
No,
mine
of course
were bigger.
not. Of course.
But all kidding aside, that explosion, it sounded like something blew up.
Yeah. All right. We're, of course, way beyond. Actually, we're not bad. We're not bad on time. All right. This has been a fun experiment on STSPN streaming. If you're watching that, you can go back on YouTube, STSPN.com. I want to thank, as usual, EasyMedicalStore.com. Our guest today, Mike Factor from Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, Kathy Conley Factor on as well. And the kids, apparently. The kids are on. Everybody's on.
It was a family show.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And I want to remind everybody that you're going to look for this podcast now on the Scott and Tim Sports Show. It's going to have our logo and everything coming out. You can still find it on Something About Nothing, which is in there. But I think that's going to do for us.
And we have Todd Elvig on.
And we have Todd Elvig here. That's like old times.
Yeah.
We got
the band is back together.
I know. We have no high school football. We have nothing.
There I am.
There it is.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Real player.
We just need
Hey, I've been trying to get your attention on your phone.
Oh, whoops. Well,
What
we've
are we
been
doing?
busy.
We've been talking. What do you want?
I got the horse collar was when you guys were doing the bad call.
Oh, okay. Bad girl. Let's do the horse collar.
Bonus material. You need to play it.
Yeah,
bonus
Okay, here you
material.
because otherwise I feel bad.
No, do it.
Away, 1:53 left in this one. 4th and 5. The pitch to Wong. Wong has the first down and a few more. Spins out of a tackle, still on his feet. Now
Look at
going
that.
horizontal. Now vertical.
Look at that.
Wong to the 40. Finally.
Oh, and he's horse collared. Throw it. You got to throw a flag. That was clear as day. You got to throw a flag on that.
AJ
And
North.
he's hurt too. That horse collar was clear as day. I've never seen a horse collar so clear as that. Oh,
There's the
finally!
flag.
Like 2 minutes later, they throw the flag. And Kainoa's hurt, I think.
Kainoa is trying to be stretched out by Branson
Jeez.
Corwin. And I'll tell you what, Coach K down there, it's going against Coach K, who is absolutely furious. You can see Coach Rory Rosenbaum
And that
talking
was
to him.
against. I cannot believe they don't call a horse collar on that. That was the most blatant horse collar I've ever seen in my life, and they don't call it. And there was 2 refs right there. Unbelievable.
I don't know what to tell you. It was as blatant as the day is long, right in front of you. Let's just hope Kainoa is okay.
And I tell you what, that just gave Kainoa player of the game for me. Nobody was making a run at it, and I'm giving it to Kainoa. just for that run right there. And he had a couple other big runs, too.
Kainoa has been huge. 7 carries, 32 yards.
He must be more than that.
Yeah,
because
more
that
than
was
that.
like 30-some right there.
They haven't added that one up yet.
The penalty's unsportsmanship on the coach, I believe.
I'm still pissed about that. I'm still
gets me
pissed.
fired up. I just want to say one thing.
What?
That was Kainoa Cheech and Chong Wong.
Oh God, the Wong family,
That-
one of the best.
they
Patty
are.
Wong and Coach Wong. Oh my God,
That was for high school. That might be the worst call.
They literally, if it's not, I thought maybe I just made this up in my head, which I do a lot. That should be in a reffing like training course.
Yes, absolutely. 2 refs right there. How do you not call that? There will never be an easier call for a ref to make than that.
And they still didn't call it.
Yeah. It's maybe because they were both right there. They were waiting for the other guy.
Well, thank you to Todd Elving, the 5-tool player, for
God, Todd's
spinning
got me
that
all
one.
fired up.
I know. I'm
Geez.
pissed about it.
I'm not gonna be able to go. I'm gonna have to get another beer now.
Is there anything else, Todd, that you have dialed up? I'm sorry.
I had that all ready for your segment, and then nobody was looking at their phone.
Well, it's in the bonus material now.
This is a
It's perfect.
bonus.
We always do a little bonus material at the end of the show.
All right, Todd, do we have anybody actually listening to this? Will this be available in the archives on STSPN?
Oh yeah, I'm going to restream it on Facebook tomorrow night after I edit it.
Sweet. Makes me look good, Todd.
I have to edit out the 10 minutes of off air.
Okay, well, I've got 3 COVID chins I picked up. So could you cut those?
Todd, you could give him the 10 minutes and you could splice it. It won't be the camera, right? But you could
Yeah,
give
but
him the
everybody's
audio.
tuning in to see you guys.
Well, that's very true.
It's very nice. They should turn the stream off. But.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave it up to you guys.
All right.
Good seeing you, Todd.
It's good seeing you, Todd. Thank you very much. That's going to do it for us. Remember to, if you listened on iTunes, please leave a review.
We like the 5-star ones.
Only 5-star.
Yeah.
Only 5-star. That's it. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.